And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Rasta Report here on LIV Radio, LIV TV here on livinginblack.com. My name is Kedia Wadu, aka the Conscious Rasta. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you. And we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspective, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Wednesday, the 7th day of January, 2025 and 2026 in the Western Gregorian calendar. This corresponds to the year 6266 in the calendar of ancient Kemet, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIV Radio, LIV TV here on livinginblack.com. Let me tell you what we have in store for you today. Today, we're talking about changing our perspective on the world, changing our ability to make perspectives on the world. We change our mind, our perspective, and the whole world changes from that new point of view. So today's topic is your mind is an elite athlete. You can train it up to its potential. Your mind is an elite athlete. Welcome to the Conscious Rasta Report. My name is Kedia Wadu, and today we're exploring treating your mind like an elite athlete. You can train it up to its potential. Just like athletes sculpt their bodies through dedicated training, we can strengthen our minds. And that's a very important point. We can strengthen our minds. We'll dive today into the brain's cognitive sections and discover specific lifestyle practices that build mental power, that sharpen focus, and unlock your mind's potential. Let's bring this journey of transformation, and let's begin the story of transformation and discovery. So that's the topic for today. I do hope you find it to be fascinating. The first thing we're going to do is, well, first we'll use ancestral intelligence, AI, ancestral intelligence, to break down the structure of the willful mind, the prefrontal cortex. After that, we're going to provide a list of 15 different mental exercises, along with what part of the brain they affect. Lastly, we're going to close with lastly, we're going to close with key nutrients, herbs, and nootropic supplements that can be utilized to build mental prowess. So that's what we have on store for you today. I do hope you enjoy it. Do stick around. I can assure you, you will not be disappointed. The first thing I'm going to do is I've got a piece of video, very short video, I'm going to share with each and every one of you. And I'm going to mute my microphone. After I mute my microphone, I'm going to hit this video. I'll be right back with you in just a moment.
Structure and function are very closely related. In our brain example, the prefrontal cortex is responsible for behaviors that are key to being human, such as the ability to make decisions, think critically, and control impulses. It would make sense that this cortical area should have more neurons than other brain regions that aren't as important, such as the part of your brain that only controls vomiting. And in fact, the reason why the human brain looks so convoluted with dips and grooves is to pack as many neurons as possible into the most important parts of the brain, including the prefrontal cortex. We have more of these grooves than most other animals. So, what are some physiology methods that could be used to study brain function? Well, scientists could observe what happens when one part of the brain is stimulated. For example, if a certain part of the motor cortex is activated, a person might automatically move their leg. Another way is to study brain tissue using a variety of laboratory techniques to see how DNA, proteins, and chemicals work to keep each brain region working properly. Structure and function are very closely related. In our brain example, the prefrontal cortex is responsible for behaviors that are key to being human, such as the ability to make decisions, think critically, and control impulses. It would make sense that this cortical area should have more neurons than other brain regions that aren't as important, such as the part of your brain that only controls vomiting. And in fact, the reason why the human brain looks so convoluted with dips and grooves.
Do you want to improve your brain power and
So the next thing we're going to do now that my microphone is back on is I'm going to take you through a slideshow presentation. Last Thursday, we discovered Notebook LM, and we're going to use Notebook LM at this particular point to put together this next section. This is a brief slideshow. It's in Adobe Acrobat, and I'm going to share with you what we were able to accomplish with this. And Eddie, thank you. He says you are muted. I'm sorry for doing that, but stuff happens. It's real complicated inside my brain right now, which is all the more reason for me to get my brain exercised up. So thank you, Brother Eddie. I am because you are. And this is really, really good stuff. So everybody pay attention. This is going to be happening right away. So I'm going to go into this presentation. I have it over here on Adobe Acrobat. Building a Resilient Mind. An Architect's Guide to Lifelong Cognitive Vitality. Here we go. It's got 15 panels. Your brain is not fixable. It is a muscle. Your brain is not fixable. It is a muscle. The brain possesses an incredible capacity to reorganize and adapt, a principle known as neuroplasticity. Consistent mental stimulation strengthens neural pathways and forms new connections, keeping the mind flexible and resilient against aging. The master skill we are building is called cognitive control. Cognitive control, CC, or executive function, EF, is the core process that optimizes goal-directed behavior over automatic habits. It is the brain's ability to guide activity along neural pathways to establish the proper mappings between inputs, internal states, and outputs needed to perform a given task. This process is primarily mediated by the prefrontal cortex, which acts as the brain's control center. The foundation. 4 pillars of cognitive control. 4 pillars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1, active challenge. Engaging with novelty, complex problem solving, and continuous learning. 2, embodied cognition. Integrating physical movement and mind-body coordination. 3, internal regulation. Mastering mindfulness, emotional balance, and stress. And 4, biochemical support. Optimizing brain health through nutrition and targeted supplements. So these are the key focuses for today's extended classroom. Number 1, active challenge. Forge new pathways through novelty and complexity. 1, we can engage in strategic games. Chess develops critical thinking and foresight. IMRI scans show more efficient brain networks in players. Point 2, language acquisition. Learning a new language boosts cognitive multitasking. Bilingual individuals, and bear with me, this is hiding. Here, let me just hide this. Bilingual individuals show greater brain density. Point 3, logic puzzles. Sudoku boosts pattern recognition and logical thinking. And point 4, reading and writing. Reading diverse genres generates brain connectivity. Creative writing improves imagination and planning. And here, let me make this just a little bit larger so it's easier for me to see on the screen. And here we go. All right, let's continue. Next panel. And bear with me, 60. Okay. A brain 10 years younger. A study in the Journal of the International Neurophysiological Society found that older adults who frequently engage in crossword puzzles have brains that function on average 10 years younger than their chronological age. And I don't know if I show this to you and my listening audience because I'm kind of keeping this a little bit to the side while I put together a class to teach what I do. But I am functionally 45 years to 55 years of age, which would put me 25 to 30 years younger than my chronological age, than my physiological age. Chronological age is 70. My brain age and functional age is 45 to 55 years of age. That's what I meant to say. Let's keep going. Next panel. The body is an instrument of the mind. These are techniques that we can do to embody our mental condition. Number 1, learn to dance. It combines physical, cognitive, and emotional challenges, boosting memory, mood, and coordination. Number 2, physical exercise. Activities like running, yoga, or Tai Chi improve blood flow and promote the formation of new neurons, enhancing memory and focus. And I engage in about 5 different physical exercise patterns during the course of the day. Number 3, play an instrument. Bolsters motor coordination, auditory processing, and memory. Musicians' brains show more interconnectivity across hemispheres. And 2, use your other hand. Simple tasks like brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand challenge motor functions and promote neuroplasticity. I'm going to try that today. That sounds like a very good strategy. Let's go to our 8th panel. A 76% reduction in dementia risk. New Haas Grotesque Display Pro, that's not even supposed to be in there, it's an error. Studies have shown that dancing is a highly protective activity against cognitive decline, linking it with as much as a 76% reduced risk of dementia. Next, taming the noise. This is a pillar number 3, internal regulation. Taming the noise, sharpening the focus. Meditation and mindfulness, 10 to 20 minutes a day, reduces stress, sharpens focus, and increases gray matter stress, and increases gray matter density, which let me just turn this off. And let's continue here. And sorry for that short interruption, but here we are. So, gratitude journaling trains the brain to focus on positive experiences, strengthening neural pathways related to emotional regulation and lowering stress hormones. 3rd point, visualization. Mentally rehearsing actions or associating information with places activates many of the same neural pathways as physical action, enhancing memory. Very, very important. Let's go to our next panel. You can physically reshape your brain in 8 weeks. You can physically reshape your brain in 8 weeks. You know that 8 weeks is exactly how long our upcoming 56-day stem cell program is scheduled. I'm scheduling it. It's coming up. I don't know the exact date to start because I got to get people interested in it. But 8 weeks to rejuvenate your stem cell, rehabilitate them, activate them. 8 weeks. You can physically reshape your brain in 8 weeks. Harvard researchers documented measurable changes in brain structure after only 8 weeks of mindfulness practice. Meditation led to thicker prefrontal cortexes and increased gray matter density in areas linked to memory and emotional regulation. 8 weeks. That's pretty amazing. Next, pillar 4, biochemical support. Exploring nootropics. Nootropics is a word of drugs and supplements that upgrade our mental capacity. Exploring nootropics with prudence. Nootropics, or smart drugs, are substances that may improve cognitive function, like memory and attention. This category includes both synthetic compounds, meaning pharmaceuticals, and natural botanicals. Natural botanicals. First, on the left is ginkgo biloba. May produce modest memory improvements, possibly through anti-inflammatory benefits. Research is mixed. Ginkgo biloba is in my anti-aging article. Number 2, Panax ginseng. Clinical evidence suggests it can improve abstract thinking, attention, and working memory. But results can be inconsistent. Number 3, Bacoba munieri, an Ayurvedic herb used to improve memory, those studies show mixed results. So those are various nootropics. Promise versus reality. A cautious approach is warranted. Mixed evidence. Research on many nootropics is inconclusive, with some studies showing no significant improvement over placebo. Safety concerns. Many herbs have significant drug-nutrient interactions. Example given St. John's wort, bacopa. The FTC has issued warnings against unsubstantiated health claims. Of course, the FTC does not issue warnings against these pharmaceutical drugs, many of which have very serious long-term direct effects, including causing cancer. So FTC, FDA, USDA, and all of the above, we choose to go an alternative pathway. A food-first philosophy. As expert Maggie Moon, MS and R&D, states, quote, the complexity of real food can't be captured in a pill. Nootropics are found in real foods, and when this is the case, the risk is non-existent. Incorporate herbs like turmeric and rosemary into your diet. Now, I do have a cup of turmeric tea here today. It's got green tea in it, black tea bag, and other substances, peppermint as well. So this is all intended to be a complement to my biophysical health. And I do grow rosemary here in my garden, and I have a beautiful rosemary herb plant out there. So we're doing the best we can to live what I am teaching. Ashe. Next panel. The keystone. Strength is in the integration, the symbiosis of all of this working together. The strength is in the integration. A single pillar, no matter how strong, cannot support a complex structure. True cognitive resilience is built by consistently and variably engaging all four pillars. A brain challenged by a new language, pillar 1, powered by physical activity, pillar 2, and centered by mindfulness, pillar 3, creates a synergistic effect that cannot be replaced by any single hack. A quote from Dr. Axe, like any workout routine, mental fitness requires variety, consistency, and challenge. Your weekly cognitive blueprint. So here it's giving you tips for what you can do all week long. And if you integrate one per day, that's fine. But if you can do all of these every day, you are doing a great job. Mix different activities from each pillar to stimulate multiple brain areas for at least 15 to 30 minutes a day. It says Monday, 15 minutes of creative writing. Tuesday, 20-minute brisk walk or yoga. Wednesday, solve a Sudoku puzzle. Thursday, 10 minutes of guided meditation. Friday, cook a new complex recipe. Saturday, learn a new song on an instrument. And Sunday, 5 minutes of gratitude journaling. Now, I suggest that we do these all week long. Why not? So, our final panel, you are the architect. You are the architect. The working of building a resilient mind is not a defense against the future, but a continuous act of creation. The smartest investment you can make is in the vitality and agility of your own thinking. Start smart, stay curious, and watch your brain thrive. Start small, stay curious, and watch your brain thrive. That from Dr. Axe. And I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. It wasn't very long, but I think it was quite, for me, it was indeed quite satisfying. You let me know what you thought about it. And I do see you in the house, Brother Ngufu. Sawubona, AI, ancestral intelligence. Remembering not to forget. I'm loving this topic and the concept. Thank you so much. You do know how much that means to me, Brother Ngufu. He says Sawubona, which means I see you. And that is, of course, from South Africa. Is it in Nkosi language or it might be Zulu, but it is our language. We are Pan-African, so we can say Jambo to greet our brothers and sisters wherever they are. We can say Ubuntu, which means you and I are an extension of the same house. And there's so many things we can say. Medase, P, I give you thanks very much. The languages are so very important. And right now, I'm trying to study Kiswahili. I'm listening a lot to Zulu during my mindfulness meditation tapes. I listen to Zulu mindfulness meditation. So I'm listening to it, which means I'm incorporating these resonant patterns inside my brain. Later, I'll decode them and find the actual meaning to them when I am able to make it to South Africa. My brother Sashaba lives in Joburg in South Africa, and hopefully he will help to guide me to learning the language. We've got so many languages to learn. And that just shows you the complexity of our brains, the complexity of our ancestral inheritance. So Nguvu Sawubona, I see you. As we moving forward, I have more on the table I would like to share with you. And I hope everybody out there listening does hit the like button, whether you're listening on YouTube, whether you're listening anywhere you are listening to your LB Radio family. We want to be there with you. So one thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to open up this window on YouTube. And bear with me, it's going to have to be muted as it comes on. And then we're going to go back to forward to the rest of our dialogue. And we're going to go into much more details about what we have been studying for today. Now, quickly. Okay, there is muted. And let's go back to our study. Again, we left off with your willful mind lives largely in the prefrontal cortex, which is the brain's control center for focus, planning, self-discipline, and goal-directed behavior. You can train it with targeted mental exercises and support it with nutrition and evidence-based nootropics. First, we talk about the structure of the willful mind. The prefrontal cortex, PFC, sits behind the forehead and is the most advanced, late developing part of the frontal lobes. It integrates information from sensory, emotional, limbic, and memory regions to guide behavior toward long-term goals. The prefrontal cortex translates to short-term sacrifice for long-term goals. That's the key. Once this position is developed to its greatest extent, we can actually see the future using our prefrontal cortex. It's called, in ancient Kemet, it was called the third eye, the eye of Heru. Key functional zones often discussed are the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, DIPFC. This is the core for working memory, sustained attention, planning, and cognitive flexibility. It's critical for suppressing distractions, holding rules in mind, and mentally stimulating future actions. Next, ventral medial orbitofrontal PFC. It integrates emotion, reward, and social information to guide value-based decisions. It also helps balance impulses with consequences, supporting delayed gratification and ethical choices. And we can see this section of the brain, the ventral medial or orbitofrontal PFC, is underdeveloped in many, many people. Many people. I would suggest it also includes the commander in chief. He's suffering from orbitofrontal prefrontal cortex deficiency. Next, anterior frontal polar PFC. Frontopolar PFC. It handles the most abstract control, multitasking, long-range plans, and, quote, thinking about thinking. It's important for branching between sub-goals and adjusting strategies as circumstances change. Together, these three regions, the dorsolateral PFC, the ventral medial or orbitofrontal PFC, and the anterior or frontopolar PFC, these three regions support executive functions like inhibition, set shifting, updating working memory, and top-down control over habits and emotions. This is all very, very important. And I hope you do hear me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, cut, and paste this to my Facebook page, because that's a very important piece of today's classroom. And I do want to have access to that to the best of my abilities. So there we go. I did it. There I do. Let's go forward. We continue, and I have my own one kind of a notepad. I use Notepad, and I put everything in here. Then I bold and bullet it, and then I have to save it as a markdown folder. So it's complex up here. 15 mental exercises and brain targets. Each of these 15 mental exercises and brain targets primarily trains certain networks. Most also recruit broader prefrontal cortex, parietal, striatal circuits. Number one, dual in-back training. The target of IPFC, parietal cortex, working memory updating. How? Use an app or cards to recall sequences of positions, sounds, several steps back. So recall sequences and sounds several steps back. Number two, mental math under time pressure. The target of this one is the DIPFC. And again, let me give you that DIPFC is the dorsolateral PFC. So this is the target, dorsolateral PFC. Mental math under time pressure. Do serial subtractions. Example given, -7 from 100. Or multi-step mental calculations. This is very important. And I do my morning core exercises. I'm lying on a mat and I'm doing 3 types of exercises mainly. First are 3 knees to the chest. I do 150 of those every day. Now that's not when I'm fasting. When I'm fasting every 2 days, I increase it by 5 reps. So this morning I did 195 of this exercise. And there are 3 core exercises, 195 times all 3. There's actually about 9 of them, but these are the 3 that I changed. But here's the thing. I count backwards from 195. So as I'm doing the exercises, the reps, 195. 4 is my kind of a pattern of recognition, 4 counts. Then I go to 191. Then it's 187. The next point, 183. The next one, 179. At 5, it's 175. Now the thing is I kind of keep all of this together because every time I hit a 5, it comes back to the number that I began with. So at 5, I've done 20 of the reps. I'm at 175 and I started at 195. This becomes very difficult, especially when I get into the second 100. After I'm under 100 left, it gets a little difficult. Usually right around 183, I'll kind of disconnect and I'll have to wait till I get to another one that begins in that ends in a 5, and I'll have my reference point. But this is how I count my reps every day, backwards from the top, and then tomorrow I'll be doing 200. So my count will change again from 200 to 196 to 192 to 188 to 184 to 180. That's 5 times 4. That's 20 off. And that kind of gives me a reference point. So mental math under time pressure. Do serial subtractions. Number 3, Stroop style, S-T-R-O-O-P, Stroop style inhibition tasks. Target, again, the DIPFC. And again, that stands for, I'm learning all this, and I'm going to memorize as much of this as I can, dorsolateral PFC. So it's not DIPFC, it's the DLPFC, dorsolateral PFC. Stroop style inhibition tasks. Anterior, this target is DLPFC, the anterior cingulate cortex. Inhibitory control, conflict monitoring. How? Name the link color of incongruent color words or use similar interference apps. Now, let me get this into my ancestral intelligence over here and tell me, what did that say? I'm going to go over here to this one and describe name the link color. Okay, so it's going to describe it for me. It's coming up and it says, I didn't want that. Let's just put it over here. I'm going to put it in a new window. Ask Brave and Brave AI, name the link color, the Stroop effect. In psychology, the Stroop effect is the delay in reaction time between neutral and incongruent stimuli. The effect has been used to create a psychological test, the Stroop test, that is widely used. And it says the ink color of incongruent color words must be named despite the word itself being a different color. Oh, okay. So you're reading the names of these colors in different colors. This is the Stroop test. I've seen this before. For example, if the word blue is printed in red ink, the correct response is red. This task creates interference because reading the word is an automatic process, while naming the ink color requires controlled cognitive processing, leading to slower reaction times and increased cognitive load. So I see the colors are up here. It says green, but it's in yellow. It says blue, but the color is pink. It says red, but the color is blue. So that's the Stroop effect. I can dig it. You can dig it. We can dig it. Number 4, complex planning puzzles. Now, again, we're doing 15 mental exercises. Number 4, complex planning puzzles. The Tower of Hanoi. The target, again, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Frontal polar PFC, planning and rule management. How to do it? Solve multi-step puzzles that require planning moves ahead. Number 6, chess or Go strategy sessions. Target dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the frontal polar prefrontal cortex, basal ganglia, meaning brain tissue, strategy planning, and pattern learning. How to do it? Regularly play longer games that require deep calculation, not just blitz. And for those of us who are into short form social media, such as video shorts, etc., and TikTok and other things, this is just the opposite of that. It's the opposite. So now we can start to see evidence where this is conflicting with our best long-term self-interest. That short blitzing type of behavior is not going to develop your brain. It's not. Number 6, Sudoku and logic grids. Target again the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, parietal cortex, logic, reasoning, and working memory. How? Progressively increase difficulty to keep puzzles mentally taxing. And I keep hearing Sudoku again and again. I'm going to look this up. What is Sudoku? What is Sudoku? Where are you at? What is Sudoku? Sudoku. Let me try it again. Suduko. Bear with me, something went wrong over here. Sudoku and logic grids. Unfortunately, I erased the word Sudoku instead of just copying it. What is Sudoku? Games. Sudoku is a logic-based single-player number puzzle played on a 9x9 grid divided into 9 3x3 subgrids. The object is to fill the grid so that each row, column, and 3x3 block contains all digits from 1 to 9 exactly once. The puzzle starts with some cells pre-filled, and the player must use logic deduction to complete the grid without guessing. Each puzzle has only one current solution. So we've seen those puzzles before, and that's to be appreciated. No doubt, no doubt. So, number 7, crossword and word recall drills. The target, again, this time the target is the left prefrontal cortex, the temporal lobe. Verbal fluency and retrieval. How? Daily crosswords, timed category naming such as animals and foods to push speed and flexibility. So timed category naming such as animal and foods. That sounds interesting, to push both speed and flexibility. Number 8, jigsaw puzzles and spatial rotation tasks. Target, the right PFC, prefrontal cortex, parietal and occipital areas, visual spatial reasoning, and global local switching. How? Larger, more complex images. Aim for sustained distraction-free sessions. So that's a wonderful thing. Jigsaw puzzles, definitely. Number 9, mindfulness meditation. Focused attention. The target, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Anterior cingulate, the insula, which is sustained attention and mental awareness. How? Focus on the breath, repeatedly redirecting attention when it wanders. And that's like the exercise that I do with the exercises when I'm counting backwards from as much as 195, that was a day. I have to continually refocus my awareness, my attention when it wanders. Because during the course of doing 195, my brain is going to think of other things I've got to focus it back on, so I'm staying on count. This is also very, very good. I do this with box breathing. At night before going to bed, I engage in 5 Japanese exercises that are said to keep their population fresh and their joints moving and flexibility, no back pain. The first one, I put my feet up against a wall, and I box breathing, meaning inhale for 5, hold it for 5, exhale for 10, and added to it, I not only exhale for 10, but after each cycle, I add 1 second of no breath at the bottom. So by the time I get to the end of it, I'm exhaling for 10, and then while my lungs are completely empty, I count 10 more heartbeats at that. Now that requires a lot of focus and attention, but it does add significantly to autophagy, and my ability to target my life expectancy now is up to 124. That's not my planned target. That's what AI, my ancestral intelligence, tells me. It calculates my longevity. Now, if you are interested in getting that calculation done, you let me know. There are 34 different inputs, and I will check you. I will send you a quiz, and you will check them off, all of them, to the best of your abilities, what you do, and I will be able to then tell you how long you should be expecting to live. This is a pretty awesome, really. Number 9, that we just did finish, number 9. Number 10, implementation, intention, journaling. Target, the frontopolar PFC, prefrontal cortex, and the VM PFC. So frontopolar is, bear with me, orbitofrontal, that's different. Frontopolar, that's the anterior frontopolar prefrontal cortex. So number 10, that's implementation. How to do it? Right. Quote, if X, then I will Y plans. Linking triggers to desired actions. So if X, then I will Y. X is a variable, then Y is an action that's based specifically on this variable. Linking triggers to desired actions. Number 11, cognitive reappraisal practice. The target, the VMPFC, as well as the dorsolateral PFC. Targets also the amygdala, connectivity, emotion regulation. How to do it? Take an emotional event and deliberately reinterpret its meaning more constructively, not negatively. Reinterpret its meaning more constructively. This gives you the power, and it's also developing these areas of the brain that are now going to be linked to problem solving. Number 12, task switching drills. Target, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the parietal cortex, meaning set, shifting, and flexibility. How to do it? Alternate every 30 to 60 seconds between two dissimilar tasks. Example, reading and arithmetic. So 30 to 60 seconds on reading, then switch to math, 30 to 60 seconds, and then switch back. Sounds good. Number 13, learning a musical instrument. To target the prefrontal cortex, motor cortex, auditory cortex, and the cerebellum, multimodal integration and sequencing. How? Practice challenging new pieces that strain coordination and timing. Now, I do play guitar and I also play piano, but I tell you, of recent, I've been so busy on so many other tasks that I have not been playing music. So why not? During the afternoon, when I'm kind of chilling out for a while, taking my afternoon mental break, task break, why not pull out the musical instrument and learn new songs? There was a time when I was learning to play complex songs just instrumentally on the guitar. And it's time to pick that back up. Number 14, new language practice. To target the prefrontal cortex, temporal language areas, the hippocampus, which is working memory, and abstraction. How to do it? Daily speaking, listening, and recalling drills at the edge of your competence. So pull the language books out. I got one right here, tree, which is the Ashanti language, basic course from the Foreign Service Institute, Department of State. So this is what the diplomats actually use to be able to go to Ghana and to interface with the people. This is the actual language course. This is not the best book that I have, but I do have multiple books. I've got about 3 or 4 books just on tree. I have books on Japanese, Spanish, French, Amharic, Brazilian, Portuguese. I speak English, Spanish, French, and then I've been learning Amharic, Tree, Swahili, and Portuguese. And there's 2 more in there somewhere. I don't think of them when I think of them. So language is very, very, very important. Oh, Japanese, that was the first language I learned years ago. And then there's one more in there somewhere. I can't think of what it is. So, new language practice, daily speaking, listening, and recall drills at the edge of your competence. So in the last 2 days, I have been listening very diligently to Zulu. Swahili was the other language. I've been listening to Zulu and Swahili while at the same time watching movies where it's in French language with English subtitles. And I've been watching boxing, which much of boxing is in Spanish. Pretty interesting. And lastly, number 15, riddles and lateral thinking puzzles. Target the frontopolar prefrontal cortex, the association cortex, meaning creative problem solving. How do we engage it? Regularly tackle brain teasers that require reframing assumptions. So today I've also been studying language, the language of the mind, this complex language. As you can hear me kind of stuttering and stammering through it, it is a lot of work. It is an largely unfamiliar part of my language development. But we're doing the best we can to learn more. And if I continue to read through this and or create the audio for this that will play it back for me tonight. In fact, I'm looking back again at this, the stem cell revolution. No, I'm not in that. Today I am in, that's not where I'm at. I'm looking for this other, oh, here it is, the advanced cognitive health, neurosciences, neurotropic, etc. So what I can do is continue to build this out to where I have created, this is Notebook LM from Google, Notebook LM. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to build out, I just finished building out the, ooh, this is really good. I build out the infographic. I've got flash cards. I can build that as well. And I'm going to build a report for today. And we're going to kind of wrap it up on that report. And the report I'm going to be build is a briefing document or study guide. No, I don't want that. I'm going to put out a explanatory article, but I do want to put this out for a proposed resource. So I'm going to build that, and I'm also going to build an audio file. Default is going to be long in English, deep dive, brief, critical, and a thoughtful debate. I want a expert review. No, I want a deep dive. Let's go with that. Generate a deep dive. And also the last part is I am going to generate a video based upon what we talked about today. Now, this is not going to be ready by these other last two. The audio and the video will not be ready by the end of today's program because we just got about 10 or 20 minutes. But when I come back later today, I will have multiple reports based upon what we have been doing. So let me begin to wrap it up. Oh, nutrients, herbs, and nootropics. This is very important. It's going to take another 20 minutes. These support brain structure, neurotransmission, and neuroprotection. Evidence quality varies, and individual medical advice is essential before supplement use. Talks about foundational nutrients, omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, and DHA. Point 1, they support neuronal membranes, synaptic plasticity, and anti-inflammatory signaling. 2, they're found in fatty fish or high-quality fish or algae oil, but they're also found in hemp seeds, hemp seed oil, flax seeds, flaxseed oil. Walnuts contain high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. Coconut is an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids. Already today, well, I haven't had anything except for I did put coconut oil in my green tea. And I did put turmeric, a lot of turmeric in it today. And so this is like turmeric tea almost. So that's very good for anti-inflammatory. B complex vitamins. B complex vitamins are very important, especially B6, B9, and B12. First point, they are involved in neurotransmitter synthesis and homocysteine metabolism, relevant to cognitive health. Second, they are present in leafy greens, legumes, meats, and fortified foods. Now, I don't eat meat, and fortified foods I tend to avoid because fortified foods will, many times, they're highly processed foods. But you can get vitamin B12 in certain fortified foods, such as vitamin B12 is found in nutritional yeast. So that's where I can get mine. And going forward, choline. It's a precursor for acetylcholine. This is important for memory and attention. It is found in eggs, liver, and certain supplements. Example given CDP choline and alpha GPC. So right now, I'm not taking choline. I've been considering taking it, but from my understanding, choline is only found in animal-based food products. I may be corrected there. And it's extracted from animal-based, and I don't want to put that in my mouth. Magnesium and zinc. I will put both of those in my mouth. They modulate NMDA and other receptors, influencing synaptic plasticity and cognitive function. You can get your magnesium and zinc from nuts, seeds, whole grains, and targeted supplements. I do take a magnesium citrate over here, and also I do consume pumpkin seeds, pepitos, as a main source of zinc on a regular basis. So we continue. Evidence-supported herbs and botanical nootropics. So this is a different category, herbs and nootropics, botanical nootropics, which are nature's based mind improvement drugs, cognitive drugs. Number one, Panax, Asian, and American ginseng. Some trials report improved attention, working memory, and reaction time in humans. Often used acutely, meaning short term. Monitor for effects on blood pressure and blood sugar. Next, Withania somnifera, ashwagandha. Clinical studies show improvements in executive function, reaction time, and stress response at 225 to 400 milligrams a day extracts. It acts as an adaptogen, potentially reducing stress-related cognitive drag. Number three, Centella asiatica, also known as gotu kola. Animal and early human data suggests enhancements in learning, memory, and neuroprotection via dendritic growth and cholinergic activity. Standardized extracts emphasize triterpenoid glycosides like asiaticoside. Different words for me. I'm learning, expanding my brain. Number four, Eleutherococcus senticosus. This is Eleutherol or Siberian ginseng. Point one, may improve your cognitive performance, particularly under stress, though trials are limited. And two, it appears well tolerated, but optimal dosing regimens remain unclear. Next, Paulinia cupana, which is also known as guarana. Studies show positive impacts on memory acquisition and resistance to fatigue, particularly via caffeine and other actives. Often used in low to moderate doses to avoid overstimulation. Other nootropic compounds, and this says use these with caution. And I think we should do all of these activities with caution. Number one, creatine supports energy, cellular energy. Some evidence for benefits in cognition under sleep deprivation or high mental load. Quote, or point two, typically used as monohydrate powder at standard athletic doses. Number two, next would be phosphatidylserine, phosphatidylserine. That's phosphatidylserine, and acetyl-L-carnitine. Now, acetyl-L-carnitine is one of our absolute favorite nootropics. Investigated for memory and age-related cognitive support with mixed but promising findings, often included in multi-ingredient brain formulas. And I do use that as part of my anti-aging arsenal. For truly elite mental performance, the strongest levers remain: number one, consistent cognitive training that taxes the prefrontal cortex; two, high quality sleep; three, regular physical exercise; and four, an anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense diet with supplements used as adjuncts rather than substitutes. So supplements are adjuncts to the high quality, nutrient-dense diet. That's very clear. So get your sleep, get your exercise, eat right, and use supplements when needed as adjuncts to what you're doing. And all of that should allow you to put together a plan, a good plan, to be able to develop your mental capacity. So I'm going to close out with this boost your brain power panel. I'm going to just share this. Where are we at? Let's go back over here to where I'm over here. And your mind is, I don't want to share that. I want to go here. And I'm just going to close out. I'm going to show this other panel on the screen. Your mind is an elite athlete. You can train it. Let me put up the window. Bear with me. Here we go. I'm going to put this up, and we're just going to close with this particular panel. Present. Add to stage. Now, what am I adding to the stage? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Don't add that to the stage. Remove. Stop the screen. And I'm adding another screen, but I got to find out what I just put up. That's not it. If I can find it, I'm just going to go ahead and just leave you. And nobody's responding to me today, so I guess it's not so bad. Okay, I can't even figure. Oh, there it is. So you boost your brain power. Now, this is what I'm going to add to the stage as we go to wrap it up for today. Boost your brain power. Share screen. Boost your brain power. There it is. Got by me for a sec. And lastly, put this up onto the screen, and I'm going to go out now with the following. Panel is up. And are you seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah, boost your brain power, a natural guide to cognitive health. We went through this today. Let me just quickly step through it, and we're going to wrap it up from here. And I had Photoshop was open in the back too. I need to turn that off. No, it's not. Whew, man, it gets crazy inside my head some days as I try and multitask all of this. It gets a little crazy. Boost your brain power, a natural guide to cognitive health. Like a muscle, like an athlete, you can train your brain. We go through a number of mind games and puzzles, learning a new language, engaging in creative and physical activities, including dance, etc., practicing mindfulness and meditation. The brain, like a muscle, can be strengthened and protected through consistent training and proper support. Regular mental stimulation enhances neuroplasticity. That's a powerful word. While specific plant-based nootropics can improve your cognitive abilities by developing brain tissue and supporting neurohormonal functions. So last category says fuel your brain. Key nootropic herbs, ashwagandha, and also Bacopa monnieri, also called Brahmi, used in Ayurvedic medicine. All of this we use to enhance our capabilities. We add this to our personal arsenal of anti-aging supplements. Now, I've got them in. I hope you do get them in. And today was a lot of work. I'm going to be listening back to this at least one more time today. And then we will be adding this into our catalog for a couple of weeks. It'll come in at random times. If you listen to us, you can hear it all day long via our You Now program. So we did get the audio done. Let me just show you what this audio is like. And is it going to play? Let me figure out if it's going to play. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I'll listen to that audio on my own. And I did put up one more document. This is the research proposal. Again, I'm using Notebook LM. This is real powerful AI, ancestral intelligence. And I did put up the research proposal, and this is a very long document. And it's real good, but it's very long, and I'm not going to read this today. I could use this for an application for a research grant from someone, or appeal to us that we could support myself as a researcher in all of this. Now, I am planning to take to Africa all of my longevity-based research. My books are out, and this one will undeniably this should make it into my next book, Mo Better Nutrition for the Advanced Student and Teacher. And so this is not a bad place to take to Africa. This will be a rather significant chapter in the new book, and it even includes several references as well. Shabaka, I see you in the house, my brother Shabaka. What a joy it is to have you in the house. He says, greetings, Baba, and LIB family. Thank you, Shabaka, for all you do. You do so much for LIB Radio. You know, I hope you do know, that we are eternally grateful to have you in this LIB Radio family. So on that note, I'm going to begin to wrap it up over here. We've got windows are open. I never did get that up there. Oh, I just closed it. So let's remove that. Stop the screen. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. You have been tuned in to your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are living in black.com. Thank you all for all you do, for all we do here at LIB Radio. I couldn't do any of it, not any of it at all, without your participation. So on that note, I want to thank you. We are out of here for today. And I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. So it will be another classroom in AI. Last week, we discovered Notebook LM. We didn't discover it. It already existed, just like Christopher Columbus. I discover you. No. For our family, we taught the class on Notebook LM. And look at how powerful it's become. And that's why we're here doing what we do on your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are living in black.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.